Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, if you're not new, welcome back. I'm D. Christine, and in this video I'm going to be planning out my birthday week in my Erin Condren hourly life planner. So the time is finally come for me to plan my birthday week. I'm really grateful to see another year. I honestly don't know what my plans look like beyond that. I feel like people are scheming around me, they planning things around me, but it's fine. I'm trying to focus on the plans I do know about, okay? So let me go ahead and tell you what I'm going to be using for this spread. So I'm going to be using Posh Party from Live Love Posh. I bought this book specifically to make sure I had something to use for my birthday. Also, when I tell you I'm using a ton of Planner Kate stickers, I'm using a ton of Planner Kate stickers. So I will link as much as I can in the description box below. Lastly, I'm going to be using this doll from Pink Kimono Papers. She's cute. And even though it says Happy New Year 2023, blah, 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 I'm only focused on her right here. And I think she's gonna fit in nicely with the spread that I have planned. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with setting this up because this week is a busy one and I need to get this down now. Okay, so this is all I'm willing to commit to as far as the setup goes for right now. I like how this looks, it's cute. I used some leftover date numbers from Planner Kate date headers to call out the dates a little bit more because there's a lot going on with the background, and I don't have any habit trackers that really match this, so I might just use some clean color dots to outline it and just make this a big like habit tracker on the side, or I might not. I'm gonna have to make a decision about that because I do have like a priorities list that I stick to, but technically, I mean, I guess everything's a priority in its own way. So I might just make this a big kind of like habit tracker for the week. In the past, for my birthday week, I don't usually put any kind of to-do list. I kind of leave everything open to happen as it wants to happen. And so with that being said, let's pull out the brain dump. Pull out the brain dump and see what's all going on. So this is the perpetual notebook from Erin Condren that came with the last seasonal surprise box, and I've decided to use this for my brain dumps. If you see the video I did on the last seasonal surprise box, you probably will hear that I mentioned that I was going to do that, and I'm really happy with how this came out. It's kind of, to me, it seems like it's made for the brain dump because I can, you know, kind of already choose what dates and months it applies to without having to write that down every week, and just use some transparent dots to call it out. And it's a lot wider, so I have a lot more space. So anyway, I'm going to get these appointments down first, and then I'm going to move down to the rest of the appointments probably by day. And so for anybody who, because I got some questions on my Instagram, and if you don't follow me over there, you definitely should. about how to fit things into the hourly, and I was trying to find a way to say it, but you know, when you've been doing something for so long, it just, you're not really thinking about it, and then someone asks you a question that makes you think about it, and you're like, oh, okay, how am I doing that? So I'm time blocking. Some people I've seen, they use this like a lined vertical. They don't care about the times. They don't care if what task they're putting lines up with the time that's printed in the book. I do, because I'm using this as a time management tool first and foremost, because essentially I have reminders for all the things that I need to do in my Google Calendar. It's more about how am I going to work around still doing what I need to do that's on my list around these time obligations. And so the easiest way I've found to do this is to iron out what's locked in first and then start there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these appointments in. As you can see, there's a whole lot going on, okay? And then I will be right back. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got. We have classes in. I'm gonna wait till I put some deco down to indicate when we're supposed to move our car. Got the session in, the assessment in, hair appointment in, nails, and the live in. Okay, looking good, looking good. So now it seems a lot less congested when you have it laid out this way. But when I'm like laying my deco and I'm putting my to-do list, I'm also thinking of like, well, I'm gonna need like, you know, a half an hour to an hour buffer to prepare for the call, and an hour after to send any follow-up notes and emails. Also, this day, I didn't write it down, but there's a DLC for one of the games that we play coming out on this day that I will probably put down later on. Though, in another video, I'll show you guys what I tried to do to keep track of that. And so I'm thinking, okay, so around these appointments, I prefer like an hour buffer on each side. So I'm keeping that in mind when I'm laying down the appointments, where it's like if the to-do list takes up 3 or 4 lines, then it kind of encompasses the buffer that I would be requiring in order to make sure I'm completely dealing and responding to my obligations for this week and every week. So let me take a look at the brain dump. This is last week. I've never done this before, but last week was so kind of like topsy-turvy. I always look back at the previous week to see what I didn't do, and it gets put back into the brain dump and reassigned to another week until it's done. But I wanted to like indicate this because I'm like, oh, usually it's maybe 1 or 2 things, but there's more than a few things that I didn't get a chance to do. Y'all see this, right? I don't know why. I need to do this. This is not following me another week. So So this technically is all to-do list. This is a carryover from last week, so it does get a little bit of priority because now it's 2 weeks I haven't done some of these things, and though I understand why, I'm going to take a look at seeing how I can make sure I get this done. And then this is what I have for this week. So I'm gonna start batching these together. And last week I had some stickers that I was able to use, kind of like box them up, but I don't know if I have any more of those. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna get my little to-do stickers or whatever the case and start laying them out, and then I will be right back. Okay, so this is where I am so far, and I get so stressed out sometimes trying to figure out how I'm going to batch the tasks up. I usually end up doing like more, either all of it or none of it, right? So I either need to find my social security card or order another one. I might do both. I have a meeting to schedule, still didn't add this. This account needs to be made. My office still needs to be cleaned. I start cleaning it and then things happen, and then I end up messing it up trying to plan and look for stuff and whatever the case. I have to like get on top of that. I have my budget in. Finished editing is also in. And let's see, some forms to set in. Meetings to reschedule. Okay, so let me go ahead and resume my list. Okay. So I think that's the last of it. And we're just gonna take one last look. This content, this one is happening now. This one is done. I need to edit it. I'm waiting on the file for this, and I haven't done this yet. So now that I have my appointments laid out and a good grasp on when I would have time to actually do tackle the things on my list for this week rather, now I can play around a little bit. So first thing I'm gonna do before I forget is I'm gonna turn this into my habit tracker for this week, since I don't have any habit tracker stickers left. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. That will do just fine for me. And we still have one more thing. Here my boo go. She cute. So let's pull her off. And as you can see, it's a lot easier to see what's all going on, what's going on when you put everything down first. And especially as I know that the end of the week is a little bit heavy and much lighter than the beginning of the week, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put her to stand on Monday, because I'm not really trying to do anything on Monday, y'all. Really not. The rest of the week is gonna look crazy, so I'm fine with blocking off this day. And again, should something come up and I have to put something on Monday, now's the time I would make sure I put the time and put it here, or I would kind of overlay it. I probably wouldn't cover her face, but everything else is fair game. Of course, it's a last resort. I don't foresee anything happening on Monday at all, and it is now Sunday, and so nothing has popped up, so I feel safe putting her here. I love it. And so now I'm going to add a little bit of deco. As you can see, I am deliberately leaving my birthday empty because I actually, like I said, don't know what's going on with this day. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit more deco, and then we closing this out. All right, you guys, I'm at my threshold. I'm not putting any more deco on here. I'm going to just actually, because I keep forgetting about when to move the car, which is why I always write it down. It's 2 street cleaning days, and that Wednesday one, boy, it's like I have a mental block. I just can't remember that that's the day it needs to be moved. So I'm going to just look for something to put for that part, and let's see. Oh, we'll use this. These are cute. Okay, so honestly, this is probably the only thing that I can think of, because it's kind of like an all-day thing on our area, and it's different times and different sides. Our side is like 11 to 11:30. Fine. I usually don't put it in because I'm not really the one that moves the car. I'm not the one that moves the car, but to keep me from panicking about the wrong day, I put this up here. And I need to also put one more thing. I need to put something to indicate the DLC that is coming out next week for the game that I play. So if you are a gamer and you play games, please, let me know. I would love to know. And if you have any inkling or any idea about what DLC I'm talking about, then you probably play the same games that I play. And so you feel free to drop it in the comments and we can discuss if that's your thing. it's definitely my thing. So I'm actually looking through a bunch of stuff, trying to find the appropriate. I just need something simple, nothing huge. Aha. Perfect. Perfect. And I'm only putting this here because it reminds me why I'd rather leave this day as open as possible, aside from the few things that I've indicated for me to do. Fix that. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my birthday plan with me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, hitting the notification bell, and the subscribe button for more planning content. You can follow me over on Instagram at honeystyleandjoy. And other than that, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one.